Hey, what's going on, guys? CG here, and today I got a updated Egyptian God deck. I made this deck for my comfort, so yeah, there's gonna be some things in here that's questionable, but like I said, the Egyptian God deck right now, it's not very competitive, even though we got the Slifer and Obelisk structure deck and support for Raw. But still, at this state, it's not very competitive, so this is more like a fun deck with the cards in here for my comfort. So let's get started. All right, starting off, we're running one Winged Dragon Raw, one Obelisk, and two Slifer. Honestly, Slifer is like a floodgate. He has a really good effect, so that's why he's the better of the three. Even though Raw is my favorite one, Slifer is better. In decreasing my opponent's monster by 2,000 each time they normal or special summon is really good, and if their attack is reduced to 0 with his effect, automatically destroyed. Obelisk, he's just a big beater with 4,000 defense and attack, and Raw, really risky because you have to pay life points for him to gain attack, and then you get to pay 1,000 life points to destroy all monsters in the field. So Obelisk and Raw are like Raigekis. But Obelisk has a better effect. For the Raigeki effect, you got Tribute 2 monster. But again, Slifer is a floodgate, so he is better and more stronger than the other two Egyptian God cards. Moving on, I'm running two Kaijus, just in case my opponent has a problem monster like Dragoon or something, or Boreal Savage. I can just tribute it to summon a Kaiju, so yeah. Next, I'm running pretty much 4 Breaker, Magical Warrior. Same thing with the $30 budget deck. I'm running these 4. These 4 are really good. So yeah, with these, you're pretty much running 4 Breakers. Spell and Trap card removal are key cards, especially now. So yeah, the only difference is the Breaker, the Dark Magical Warrior, is 1 tribute, but he gains 2 counters instead of the 1 counter. Next up, 3 Raw's Disciple. So easy monster bring out, good tribute for the Egyptian God cards. Next up, we're running 3 of the Nibble. So you can recover life points for Raw, get more life points, give more attack for Raw. That's pretty much what this deck. You get 1,000 life points and you special to summon 2 more, and then you get 2,000. So yeah, another good monster. Swarm the field with for tributes for this Egyptian god. And this deck is slow, so that's why we're running so many weak low level monsters with Scapegoat as well. So this monster produced tokens to tribute for Egyptian gods. Alright, for the spell cards, these are pretty much like the Egyptian god spell cards, I guess, in a way. Obviously, 3 Soul Crossing, this is Stormforth, Monarch Stormforth, but better. You use not only your opponent's, but yours. It's a quick effect. Stormforth is a quick effect. The only difference is your opponent can't activate a card in response to this. 2 copies of Thunder Force Attack for Slifer to draw more cards to destroy a monster, and then Fist of Faith to destroy back rows, and yeah. And then I'm running these 2. I'm gonna say these are Egyptian God card for Raw because it helps you regain life points. Not only does burn damage to your opponent, but you gain 500 life points for each counter this card has. So if it has 2, you gain 1,000. If it has 3, it gains 1,500 life points, and so on. So yeah, you need life points for Raw. That's why I'm running 2 of this, and the Nibble monsters to recover life points for Raw. Those cards mainly for Raw, but the Nibbles, you can use them to tribute any god. Next, for draw power, I'm running 3 Pod Advice to recycle 5 monsters and draw 2 cards. 1 Magical Spring This card is really good, but really risky. You get to draw cards equal to the number of face-up spell and trap card your opponent control, and then discard the cards from your hand the number of face-up spell and trap card you control. So if your opponent has 3 face-up continuous trap card and this is the only one face-up, you draw 3 and discard 1. The only downside is that your opponent's spell and trap card cannot be destroyed for the rest of the turn. That's a big downside. However, you're going to be drawing a good number of cards and discarding not much. With this deck, you're not going to have a lot of face-up. If you have this card and one of your face-up spell card and your opponent has 3, that's pretty much a graceful charity right there. So you're not going to lose much. So that's why I'm running 1 instead of like 2 or 3, because the down effect of your opponent's spell and trap card being protected. And then last for your draw power, 1 supply squad. Supply squad, well, whenever your monster is destroyed by battle, you draw 1 card. So that's all your draw power for this deck. Moving on for my 1-ofs, I'm running 1 Monster Reborn to recover monster. Feather Duster means Feather Duster. 1 Called by the Grave. Yeah, these are my 1-ofs. Called by the Grave, so your opponent don't activate hand trap, Feather Duster, destroy. Next up, for my 2 cards, my last spell card, I'm running 2 Card of Advice to look at your top 5 cards. I'm not running the True Name with this. I feel like that's slow. Sometimes I'll draw into True Name, and then after, when the duel's over, my next card is this, or I'll draw this, and like 5 turns later, I'll draw True Name. So I feel like that's slow. If I had 3 Card of Advice and 3 True Name, that would have been a lot better, but I had 2 True Name to this, and I felt like that's a lot slower. Alright, for my trap cards, I'm running pretty much 3 Mirror Forces, 2 of the normal one, and 1 Drowning. This ratio, I like this ratio, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna run 3 Mirror Forces, but I couldn't find my 3rd copy. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'll just do 2 Mirror Force and 1 Drowning. And then lastly, for the trap card, Ultimate Divine Beast. This trap card, honestly, it's a big boost for Egyptian God cards, because like you can destroy cards at the end of the turn. When you control Divine Beast, you destroy any number of cards your opponent activated that turn and destroy it. And then at the end phase, it's pretty much a Call by the Grave, or not Call by the Grave, Call of the Haunted, where you get to revive a Divine Beast. The main one you're going to target is Obelisk, since he does have a 3,000 defense. So yeah, really, really good. The only thing is, they'll be destroyed at the end of the turn to Divine Beast, because they are special summon, not normal summon, so that's the one downside of this deck. Other than that, this is a really, really good trap card. I love this trap card for the Egyptian gods. Alright, that's it for the deck profile. Like I said, the Egyptian gods are not a very competitive deck. They're more for fun, to have fun with your friends, your siblings, or whatever. I feel like the Egyptian god cards are missing out a lot for competitive game. I feel like they're like maybe 5 cards away for becoming a tier 3, tier 2 deck. Right now, there probably could be a rogue deck if you build the deck right. Like, I don't know, maybe either a stun focus running 3 Slifer, or like a very control, maybe running the 3 Slifer, obviously, maybe 1 Obelisk. But yeah, if you build this Egyptian god into either a stun or control base, maybe it could be a rogue status, but not a tier 2 or tier 3. Maybe they're like a few cards away from becoming a really broken tier 2 maybe deck. I feel like they should have more cards to search them out, like the Sacred Beast. How they have cards that search the Sacred Beast and spells and trap card for the Sacred Beast. This card doesn't. They have Ancient Chant that searches out Ra, and that's it. And then the Graveyard effect works for all 3 of them, which that's a downside. And they do have the Egyptian God Slime, but that's like one real good support for the gods. But yeah, I feel like the Egyptian cards are like a few cards away to becoming a tier 2, if not a tier 3 deck. Like I said, this deck profile is mainly for fun, to mess around, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this Egyptian God deck.